Hey, this is Adrienne from Astrology, A Look Inside, and I wanted to come and speak a little bit today. I meant to do this yesterday, but yesterday was the day from hell for me, and so I wanted to talk about that. So, yeah, it's been a weird few days. That full moon that was in Scorpio the other day, Lord, that wrecked my life. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, full moon in general, moon always to me rules emotions, right? When the moon is full, the emotions are high. And Scorpio is always goes into those deep, dark, ugly places that we never want to face. Deep psychological issues that are painful, that painful stuff that we bury that under the rug. Actually, we hide that crap because we don't want to have to deal with that ugliness. No one wants to deal with the ugliness. But when the full moon hit Scorpio, all the ugliness came out. Oh Lord, it came out. I had some issues happen with a family member that was an extended family member. And this family member got upset at me because, well, I like to use filters. Now, when I do my live videos, I don't use filters. And for years, I was into the natural movement. So I've got probably hundreds of videos of me on the internet without makeup on, or, without this hair or whatever. But when I use my filters, I'm not trying to be conceited or anything, but child, I look beautiful when I use my filters. And I think it caused, well, jealousy. Scorpio rules jealousy. It's what it's known for, right? So when that moon got full in Scorpio, I experienced that. I was literally told or asked not to be me. And what I mean by that is I was born with Neptune on the midheaven. The highest planet in my chart is a cross between Neptune and Venus in the 10th house. So for someone to say to a Neptune Venus 10th houser, and Neptune's exactly on the midheaven, like bam, right? And my son, by the way, right on the first house, bam, on it, like by 2 degrees or whatever. Mars and Leo too, by the way. I am a show person. That's what I do. I do it naturally. I've been doing it for years and people thought I was weird. Aquarius in the first house, weird. But when this Scorpio full moon, and it happened exactly on my midheaven, by the way, 10 degrees. I went and looked and I was like, please tell me that did not say 10 degrees, 10, 11 degrees. I think it was like 11 degrees, 10 degrees Scorpio. I was like, ah, right on my midheaven. And basically it was like saying, how dare you show so much? How dare you shine so much? How dare you be so bright? How dare you put on that false front? How dare you put on that fake face, hide behind that mask? I am a 12 houser with my son on the first house. All I will ever do in his life is wear a mask. Neptune on the midheaven. I am enthralled with, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the right word. With fantasy, illusion, creating a magical image. And with it being so close to my Venus, I'm both living in the same house, beauty, even if it's magical beauty, even if it's fantasy beauty, even if it's illusionary beauty, that is what spurs me on. I live for that. I was born for that. I've worked hard all my life to get over a first house Saturn and create this image. Image is such a great word for the 10th house, and specifically an illusionary image is such a great word for Neptune on the midheaven. It may not be who you are under all the makeup and the fantasy, but it's who you are as far as the image that you present to the world. And it's the only image you really, you're not, I don't want to be exposed to the world. I don't want to come out and just be somebody with my hair all over my head and my gray showing if I got any, and all the wrinkles all popping up. I don't want to be that. I want to create the most beautiful, most ephemeral, most magical image I can for as long as I can. Now, I'm in my mid 50s. I admit that now. I used to not admit it, but now since I am able to pull off looking very much like a Neptune on a midheaven, right? And Venus in the 10th house at this age, I freely tell people my age because I love the fact that I'm able to pull that off. So when this happened, I realized that the person who said that was a Virgo. And Virgos are known for being very honest and very critical. They're very, for them, and also very real, down to earth, real. So I don't fault her. She's got a point. There are some people, they live in that realness. That's everything for them. But see, for me, real is too real. I've got Saturn on the first house. I grew up as what they call an ugly duckling. Okay. And that is very, very much Scorpio and Venus, because Scorpio and Venus is in its fall. So I grew up my whole life feeling not good enough, not pretty enough, not attractive enough, and it's sitting in the 10th house. So, that ugly girl, that ugly duckling was there all my life. I didn't start really feeling like I was changing into a swan until probably I hit 45, 50 years old. And that's crazy. That's crazy. But that is a double Capricorn with Saturn in the first house, Venus on the ascendant or on the midheaven, and Venus in the 10th house. Double Capricorn, or any Capricorn. If you're a Capricorn, you will stay young much longer than your counterparts. Other people are aging around you and you'll be like, huh? And they'll look at you like, what? Why are you looking like that at 50 something years old? And they are gray and maybe broken up, or, but you're what I call it is youthing, re-youthing. Capricorns age in reverse. So when I was when I was younger, I looked old. I act old. I was basically old. As I get older, I look younger. I act younger. I'm basically younger. I just got married 2 years ago in my 50s for the second time. But still, I'm not ready to give up. I'm not trying to be old. I'm not even a grandma yet. I'm still a girl in my mind. And I'm going to keep it that way for as long as I can, because Saturn is in the first house. And I'm a double Capricorn. I'm not trying to get old. It's also part of a grand trine involving Pluto. So let me tell you something about Pluto. Pluto is amazing. I'm sure if you know anything about astrology, you've probably heard that Pluto is the great transformation or great transformer. Like, it will give you this magical transformation and you can regenerate. And it is known for being the phoenix that rises from the ashes. And it's the natural ruler, by the way, of Scorpio. And the ruler of Scorpio, which I just said, I've got Neptune and Scorpio on the 10th house. Basically, that's like having Neptune and Venus in Capricorn, right? That's what that basically is. And with my sun in the 12th house, that's also like having Neptune in Capricorn. And then with Pluto transiting the first house in Capricorn, well, I made a major life transformation. I was in a wheelchair for over 7 years. I was 500 pounds. I was diagnosed with a life debilitating disease. I was alone, and I didn't have love, and I wasn't considered attractive. And really, a lot of people probably thought I was at the end tail of life. And when Pluto came around and it hit my sun in the 12th house, I almost died. I was rushed to the hospital. I was giving a blood transfusion, and they had to go in through the jugular. They couldn't even get through the veins. I mean, I was dying. Okay. And the transfusion it took. And after that, I decided I wanted to live my life. I didn't want to play dead. I don't want to be old. I don't want to give up. I'm fighting. When Pluto hit my sun in the 12th house, it woke me up. I was asleep all my life, but I'm awake now. And then Pluto went into my first house, and bam, I can create the most magical, beautiful photographs of myself. Now, whether or not I'm actually beautiful or not, that doesn't even matter, because with Neptune on the midheaven, it's about creating the illusion, creating the fantasy. And with it being up there with Venus, it's about creating the beautiful illusion, the beautiful fantasy. People who have Venus and Neptune are often on TV. They're often people who are actors and singers and musicians and all of that, because they're creating illusion. They're telling a story. They don't just get up and get dressed. They get up to create an image. Everything's about an image. And I believe that. I live that as a double Capricorn with a heavy 10th house. Image. I work on that. And I never had that before, but I realize how vital that is for my life. So that was one of the things that happened. And I just thought it was so strange because I have Pluto at birth in Virgo. And it's part of a grand trine with my sun, moon, and Mercury, Virgo, right? So here's my Virgo cousin telling me, peace, be yourself. Don't put on that makeup. Don't put on no wigs. Just be yourself. Don't use no filters. Don't do any of this. I'm like, girl, are you kidding? I'm in my 50s. I'm trying to be beautiful. I'm not trying to go out there and look old yet. I'm trying to still be sexy. I'm going to be sexy until I die or until I can't anymore. But I've been, with all this Capricorn, it, still got it. Also, you might notice I talk about myself a lot, and a lot of people get upset at me about that. I've got Mercury conjoin my Saturn, and Saturn is my ruling planet. It's in my first house in Aquarius. So right now, as I talk about myself in astrologies, I am living out my highest vibration. This is who I am. I got a saying, and I told my daughter this, and I think she uses this as a measuring stick, because I do. Some things people do, and some things people are. Think about that. Sometimes we work to change others, right? We see something in them we don't like. We want them to change. We want them to do what it is that everyone else is doing, or what you do, or what is expected of them. But people have to live out their own highest vibration, right? And whatever that is theirs. That's what they have to do. That's their life force. That's what makes them whole. She may be on a whole different journey in life than me. She's got a family and she's a grandmother and all that kind of stuff. That's not my life. I'm not even a grandmother. I'm not aging yet. I'm not there. We are on two separate journeys. And my journey is probably going to be more of an outward journey than an inward journey because, Saturn, my sun, everything's all near my first house or in my first house or in my 10th house. So it's all out there. Speaking about out there, That was one of the other things that created an issue with me when this full moon went into Scorpio, and it opposed my moon in the 4th house of family. So this all involved family, right? So the other thing that happened was when Scorpio, because I went crazy. I got Scorpio in the midheaven. And I'm a Capricorn, you know, we're kind of bitchy. I went crazy when, what happened was my Scorpio brother, who I am estranged from, went off of Facebook. Now I live on Facebook basically, but I suddenly didn't see him. And so I went and checked, and my daughter said she didn't see him, and my husband said he didn't see him. But then my cousin, the same cousin, by the way, made the mistake of telling me that she did, like that she was still getting messages from him, or that he still was on Facebook, but I wasn't. So me being verbal with the Virgo, with Mercury in the 1st house, I went out because the moon, imagine the moon sitting all high and heavy up right on top of your midheaven, right? All emotional Scorpio, sting. So I went out there and I wrote my little whatever I had to say. And I at first didn't name anybody, but I just said I didn't feel like I had any support from my family, which I don't. My daughter's beautiful. God, I love my daughter. But the rest of my extended family, I haven't seen anybody in years. My brother came up here, and some people came to my daughter's wedding. I had no family at my wedding. I am estranged from my family. The only interaction I have with my family is through Facebook. I've not seen most of them. They don't visit me, and I don't travel outside of my home. I have my moon in the 4th house. I am the definition of a hermit. Sun in the 12th house, moon in the 4th house, in a grand trine with Pluto in the 8th. That is privacy. I am the ultimate in privacy. So what a lot of people don't understand is how someone could have a public persona where they talk about stuff, publicly, or show these beautiful pictures, but then they have this private life that is inaccessible to others. And my thing is I'm accessible if you come to me. I'm the mountain. I have a Taurus moon, and I'm a double Capricorn. It is the definition of a mountain. And for years, I literally couldn't move because I was in a wheelchair and I had dislocated both knees. Isn't that a double Capricorn? And I've gotten used to being a homebody. I don't go out very often. I have my home business. I do everything from a home base internal, crab-like situation. I'm a hermit. That's what I am. I accept that. I know who I am. I've learned who I am years ago. And for me to try to become someone else, to make someone else feel comfortable, that could be detrimental to my health. I'm not going to change to make someone else happy if it's literally going to be detrimental to my health. I suffer from an actual medical condition about going outside. And I don't want to go into that because I'm trying to manifest it out of my life. But this sort of brought all of that into focus. That full moon opposed my natal moon in the 4th house. And so my privacy became a very public issue suddenly. And my brother called me, and his first words was, "What the F are you doing?" Well, that set me off. I called him everything but a child of God. I cursed him. I have not seen that particular Scorpio brother in 8 years. 8 years. And he's in the same state with me. I had a brother come all the way from Alaska and live with me for over a year. And even when he was in town, the other one still didn't show up to visit either one of us. So he's going to call me out on the full moon in Scorpio and tell me I'm wrong. Ooh, I read him. You hear me? 8 years. You're my family. One of my only remaining family. What I posted on Facebook is exactly what I mean. If I saw him and his wife or his children walking down the street, I don't even know if I would know them. I know I wouldn't know the girls. The last time I saw the girls, they were this high. They're like in high school and in middle school now. I don't know those girls. They don't even, he said they didn't even know they had an aunt. Well, that's you. You got the car. You have the kids. I'm a hermit, right? Where am I at? Home. Always same place. Anybody else wants to find me? Come find me because where am I at? Here. Same phone number. Same, I lived in the last house for 6 years. So anyway, I read him. I read him publicly. And when he called me, I read him on the phone. And when it was over, it ended with me losing the relationship with my brother forever. And that's perfectly okay. Because I have a Taurus moon. And he is a Scorpio. And his sting is detrimental to my my equilibrium. The moon rules your emotional security. And I just felt like my emotional security was being attacked. I had to let it go. I screamed at him and like I said, I called him everything. I'm like, this is done. If you ever want to see me, my home is always open and available to you. Because I was trying to arrange a time for him to come and see me and me to see the kids when my husband from England was going to be here because he's coming in a few days. And he just didn't want to arrange it. I mean, Mother's Day is coming. That would have been a great day to see him. I'm sure my daughter would be around. It wasn't something he really wanted to do. And I recognize that. And we kind of ended with the knowledge that our relationship pretty much is severed. And that's fine. I cried a lot because unbeknownst to him, he was my favorite brother. He's the baby. I loved him, still do, still love him to death, always. But I've cried many tears over the last 8 years that my only brother in this state would not visit me. He's got a car, I don't. Who does that? And then you blame the person for it. Well, where have I been? Then he's like, all you ever do is post on Facebook. Yeah, but I'm still accessible. Anyway, I wanted to share that because this is the kind of thing that happens when the moon is full in Scorpio. There were deep, hidden microaggressions and psychological things going on that were deeply buried, at least for 8 years. And they came out when that moon was full in Scorpio. And by the way, when it went Scorpio, it activated my natural grand trine in Earth. So my sun is at 14 degrees Capricorn. I have Pluto at 12 degrees Virgo, and I have my moon at 17 degrees Taurus, and they make a beautiful grand Earth water trine. And actually it's like a yod because then I've got the opposite, the Scorpio up on the midheaven. It's I've got like almost a grand sextile if you added Chiron in there. That's amazing, isn't it? Grand trine and grand sextile. So when my brother, who I love forever, did that, that was it. That Scorpio opposed my 4th house moon, and that's family. And basically, me and my family just had a moment. It's funny too because those that I am close to, they showed up, like, showing their love and support, and I still love you, and I still love you too, all that kind of stuff. Then give you shout out Teddy, shout out Kim, shout out that Sue, shout out family, love you all. Anyway, those who were there and cared, they showed up, but there's some things, and there might be some deep psychological things that are going on with my brother. He admitted something to me on the phone about when he didn't come to our mother's funeral. that I never even knew. And I'll just say it, it very Scorpion, dark underworld stuff. And so he and I are just, we're just going to be estranged for now. And I'm okay with that. I'm wondering how the Scorpio full moon affected your life. And, I'm sure for everyone it affected them differently because, Scorpio falls in different houses. But mine was a public explosion. Wasn't that nice? A public Plutonian explosion where everybody saw me go absolutely ballistic on Facebook. And now I'm making a video about it so I can chronicle the experience forever. So anyway, this was my talk for the day. I just thought it was interesting to share and how it all manifested. Because, that could have manifested in any way. But when that full moon hit my Neptune, my image became an issue and my persona became an issue and my public, my whole public thing, my reputation, all of that became an issue. And my privacy became an issue because it opposed my fourth house moon. And I am extremely private. It's how I stay alive, actually, because, your moon rules your security, your sense of security. And so I always recommend people try to do or follow their North Node and their moon. Your North Node is what you're here to do. And your moon is what's going to make you feel emotionally secure. And if you don't got those two things right, you're on the wrong path. You have to be able to be calm and secure and inside of yourself. If you're walking around on eggshells, you're not going to get anything accomplished. So if you can relax and just get comfortable and secure in this life, then you're on the right path. And, wherever that North Node is, follow that, by the way. And in my case, my North Node is sitting up right at Cancer. And so me being almost like a in a public eye and all of that kind of stuff, and being nurturing and being home and a little crab or hermit in my little house, that's so much me. And it's in my 7th house. So me doing that may cause enemies. But I know that because I'm an astrologer. That's what I do. Anyway, everyone, this is Adrienne from Astrology, A Look Inside. Please visit us at astrologyaLookInside.com. And you can also find us on Facebook at Astrology, A Look Inside, and our groups at Groups Astrology, A Look Inside on Facebook. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.